Hello and welcome back to Automotive Tales. As you can see, I am at HQ 2.0 and we're going to get a car out, even though it's the middle of winter, because it's MOT time for the Clio. Not because the MOT has run out, that happened about 3 years ago, but because it's time to put it back on the road. It needs to get moving. So I've managed to get power back on in the garages after we've had some heavy rain. There's a short somewhere in the power supply to the garage, which is not ideal, which is also why you've not seen a lot of content coming from in here, because I can't actually film in here because it's pitch black. So we've got the lights back on, we've got the car on charge, time to get the Clio out. So, as you can see, not a lot has changed. Last time you saw this car on the channel, we had Tom, the blacksmith, blast all of the under bonnet area here on the Clio. And it has come up fabulous. It stayed nice and clean. It looks great, but it's not on the road. It's not being driven. So it's no point having it all nice and clean if we can't actually get it out and drive it and use it and show it to people. So time to get it in for an MOT. I see no reason why it shouldn't pass, but I mean, apart from maybe emissions, because the fuel is getting a bit old in here, which is another good reason for getting it out. We can put some fresh fuel in it, flush all that through, and then go and drive it. So it's been on charge now for a couple of hours. Yeah, it's looking like there's plenty of charge in our battery, so I need to just clear a few bits up from here and then find the keys, go and find them in the house somewhere, and get the car started. Right, here goes. Nothing like a spare torque converter. It's only when watching these videos back to edit, I realise quite how much I faff around. Right, my steering wheel's not looking too smart. My toolbox is in the way. Will it go? 'Tis the question. It's in neutral. Okay. Of course it'll go. Okay, well, unlike any traditionally unreliable French car, it started first time. It's been on the battery tender for a little while, so it's sort of to be expected, but it sounds okay. A little bit of whining from something that's rotating, possibly the power steering pump, but it seems to be quietening off. So hopefully it's going to go through its MOT, and then it can go to the Renault specialist, who's probably going to do a full service on it. It's due a cam belt and dephaser, even though it's probably only done a couple of thousand miles since that was last done. But then it should be good to go. I like to rev the engine on this car. It revs out beautifully. All the power up there at the top end on these 2-litre engines. So I don't really want to do that knowing the cam belt's overdue, especially when it's got such low mileage. Last thing I want is that engine going kaput, because that's really the value in the car and the joy in the car. Right, let's see if it will come out of the garage. Have to go hard right. The big problem I'm going to have is the camera. It's probably in the way.
A few moments later.
The one problem with HQ 2.0 is I don't have an awful lot of manoeuvring space. Now let's test all of the lights. Lights on, fog lights on, hazards on, handbrake on. Right, first job to do before this goes off for its MOT. Now we've checked all the lights, is to do tyre pressures. So I believe it's 32 PSI at the front and 30 at the rear. And while these tyres are relatively new, they have spent quite a lot of time outside, so the pressures probably haven't stayed put. Oh yes, we're on about 22 at the front, so that's not ideal. I'll call that 32, and another squeeze for good measure. Oh yes, not a lot in there at all, 10 psi maybe. Okay. Okay, around the passenger side, this is definitely looking low. Yeah, 20 psi again. You'll probably be able to hear in the background, not just the tyre inflator, but the tick 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 of the new exhaust. First time it's probably been properly warm. It's about 32 in one squeeze for good measure. Well, not so bad, just under 20. So it really needs to be a square 30. Okay, car's up to temperature. I'm going to lift the bonnet and just check everything's okay, and then it'll be parked in the driveway. The MOT test is going to come and collect it and drive it in for its MOT. And I'm going to fall over some stuff on the driveway. So hopefully you can hear me over the little hiss in the background as the compressor is just unwinding. First things first, I'm just going to check everything is okay under here. There's a little bit of condensation, but nothing unusual. Good. Now, I want to check the actual oil level, but anybody that's ever had a 172 before will know this pain is the dipstick is right down here under the intake manifold, because, well, this wasn't really designed to have such a big engine in this chassis, but then Renault Sport thought, well, why not? I mean, they did go ahead and put a V6 in the back as well. Clearly, they were smoking something great in France in the late 90s and early noughties. Wow, that is very clean oil. We're about 2/3 full, so given the engine's just been running, I'm fairly happy with that. Coolant level looks good, so we're about 3/4 of the way up between min and max. The steering fluid looks okay. All these will be gone through in the service, but just to make sure everything is okay before it goes on the road. Right, well, levels checked, engine warmed through, car is out of the garage, so that is the Clio ready to go for its MOT. Hopefully it passes. If not, we'll get a list of things we need to address. I'm aware the drive shaft on the passenger side front is not looking great. I'm also aware they're very hard to get hold of, so we'll see what they say. But if we can get it at MOT, it means it can be taxed, go back on the road, and it's going to go straight up the Renault specialist to sort anything that it needs. And then we can get on with doing a few little nice touches to this car. These headlights definitely need some cleaning. I have got a kit for doing that, so we'll see whether that works. I think they've been done once in the past, so how well will come up again, I don't know. If not, I might look for some new old stock ones, because it's sort of worth it for this car, because it's done, well, as you can see, quite low mileage, so it's worth making it just so, because it is now completely 100% original Renault parts. Because we removed that stainless steel exhaust in an earlier video, that's put it back to completely stock. The exhaust we put on was the original exhaust from the factory. The welds had failed on it, it sort of rusted through, so we'd taken it to a welder who'd fixed all of that, we've given it a good paint, now it's been warmed through, that paint will have baked on. So yeah, it is 100% factory original, which is nice. So yeah, if you happen to have a set of new old stock headlights for a Renault Clio of this era, then yeah, do let me know. These are the Xenons though, which I think only came on the 172s. Right, next time you see this car, it'll either have passed an MOT or failed an MOT. Okay, so I said that will be the last time we see the Clio until it's gone for its MOT. However, I have realised, as this car was sat outside for a long period of time, this wiper arm, well, the wiper arm is fine, but the wiper blade on here, which is a nice moulded Renault unit, well, there's not actually a blade on there anymore, which is a problem, because it isn't going to pass the MOT like that. However, so there's another job that needs doing. The boot struts don't work. I couldn't get an original Renault part, but last time I had the car out, I had the foresight to order one, and I had forgotten until I did my last check around that this was actually in the car. It is a proper Renault Group part though, it's just not a Renault branded part. So there you go. It's as near as original as possible. So we'll get that fitted, and if the light doesn't completely fail on me, we'll also do the boot struts, because I think, yeah, they're just on little spring clips. So we're going to replace those, because apparently that also annoyed me last time I opened the boot. So I ordered a pair. I've ordered these parts ready to do all this work and completely forgotten about it. So first things first, let's get this wiper arm fitted. Talk amongst yourselves. So it should be, I think, as simple as click, done. Okay, so I've done loads of these on cars on the channel in the past. Did one on the Mazda 121. So you know the drill. Screwdriver in should just release the clip. Try not to put the screwdriver through your finger. There we go. What I haven't done is pre-open these.
A few moments later.
Nice new shiny part. These have got their own clips on. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Cat. Second one, here we go. Yep, straight off. And straight off. There we go. That's it. Much better. She's done. So that wasn't necessary for the MOT, but it's nice not to smack your head on the boot. I need to clear this detritus up, and now we should actually be ready for the MOT. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. So as you can see, it's quite clean in here, but all of these plastics have gone horribly sticky. If you know how to sort that out, bleep bloop in the comments below, because I'd like to try and clean all of this stuff off if it's possible, because these bits are okay, but all these bits down the middle here, just horrible to touch. But